remembers the Game Boy Micro. Okay, so I've been doing some shorts on the channel, a lot of shorts on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to see those. And I did a video about this, which is the Game Boy Micro as a short. And I've been also playing through a bunch of Game Boy Advance games on this in shorts. And the most common thing I see commented is, what system is that? What aftermarket system is that? Is that a Nintendo console? So many people don't know about this console, and it is an official Game Boy. Yeah, so if you know about this, well then great. You're one of the enlightened ones, just like myself, right? But if you're not sure of what this is a Game Boy Micro. And this was an official Game Boy straight from Nintendo. It's not some weird like third-party knockoff or anything like that. This is an actual Game Boy console. But the weird thing is they called it the Game Boy Micro. And okay, so you're saying, Andy, yeah, okay, yeah, it's pretty small. It's quite small, especially when you take the Game Boy Advance right here, right? And you look at them side by side. Yeah, it's really small. It's almost micro, right? But the thing is, that's weird about the naming system, is this only plays Game Boy Advance games, whereas the Game Boy Advance plays everything else. So right here, I actually have an original Game Boy game. This is Metroid 2, right? So we've got on my Game Boy Advance just here. Oh look, it fits and it will play as well. And if we take this out, oh look, I've got a Game Boy Color game just here, which is Reservoir Rats, the first game I ever had for a Game Boy Color, right? And this also fits like this, and it's playable, right? And then I have a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance game, Andy, get it right? This is Pokemon Sapphire. And of course, it's a Game Boy Advance game, so it fits and it works inside the Game Boy Advance. However, if I go and get my Game Boy Micro, and let's just try that again, shall we? So, despite the fact that it's called a Game Boy, and you would expect Game Boy games to work, well, they don't. First of all, the cartridge slot is on the bottom. So this is actually the bottom of the system. So let's get our Game Boy game. Oh, doesn't fit. Let's get our Game Boy Color game. Oh, no, that don't fit either. Let's get our Game Boy Advance game. Oh, look, it fits. And the reason being is that the Game Boy Advance actually had like a slot lever or whatever that changed like a switch inside the system to allow that slot to fit these larger games. And of course, these stick outside the top of the system, right? Just like this. So it looks a bit stupid. Whereas if you had it on the Micro and you had it underneath and we put the game in, it'd be hanging out that much. And they clearly went, you know what? We don't want that to happen. And to save space, they took away that switch that allowed the older games to be played. So despite the fact that this is called the Game Boy Micro, it's actually a Game Boy Advance Micro because it only plays Game Boy Advance games. And that is another thing I saw people commenting on the shorts. I said, this is the Game Boy Advance Micro, and everyone's going, it's a Game Boy Micro. It's like, yeah, but really, it's a Game Boy Advance Micro because it only plays Game Boy Advance games, right? But that's not the only thing that this is great for, despite the fact that that's kind of a downside because you can't play Game Boy games on it, right? I'm not too fussed. This is purely for Game Boy Advance. It's actually completely souped up. Nintendo was like no expense spared on this little thing. Let me tell you why. So the reason that this is absolutely amazing is, first of all, it's actually made out of metal. The entire thing is made out of metal. Like the whole shell is metal. The front isn't. This is actually a faceplate, but I'll come back to this in a second. So first of all, for rigidity, this thing is great. Like the construction and the build quality is amazing. It's made out of metal. All of it is made out of metal, other than that faceplate on the front just there. So in terms of structure and everything, this is brilliant. It came in loads of different colors, but I just happen to have the pink one. I do have the box still, but it's in storage. But anyway, it takes Game Boy Advance games, like I've already said. It had its own proprietary like port on the top just here, which was a bit of a downside because it meant all the Game Boy Advance accessories did not work. You had to have all the Game Boy Micro accessories, which was a bit of a shame. Well, you know, it just is what it is, really. On the bottom, we've got the power switch just there. It did have a headphone jack, which the Game Boy Advance SP did not have. You've got a volume rocker just on the side here, but that's not all. We've got our triggers on the side, which are okay, but you have to press down directly on the top just there for them to work. If you press on the corners, they don't work. You have to press like exactly here. You've got really nice face buttons. The A and B buttons are really nice. The D-pad is really, really nice as well. But there is one thing that this had, which all the other ones did not have, and let me turn it on. It has a fully backlit screen. So let me chuck a game in there for you and I'll talk whilst it's going on. So yeah, it's got a fully backlit screen, and you're probably saying, Andy, yeah, but everything's got backlit screens now. No, back in the day they didn't. This, the Game Boy Advance, didn't have any light at all. You had to actually do what I'm doing now and get the light shining on the screen for you to see it. If you're at the dark, like this, you would not see it at all. And then the Game Boy Advance SP, which came out, so this one came out in 2001. The original Game Boy Advance was 2001. The SP came out in 2003, but that, which is the AGS001, I believe is the most common one, that actually had a sidelit screen. So it wasn't fully backlit. It kind of had lights that shone across the sides, which meant you could see in the dark, but it wasn't very good. Then there was super rare Game Boy Advance SPs, which was the AGS 101, I believe, and that had an actual backlit screen, but it was so hard to find. They only made like very few of them, and then it disappeared. But with this one, this has a true backlit screen, and the screen is great. Yes, it is absolutely tiny. Like, you know, the screen size is so minuscule compared to this one when you look at the screen just there, but the screen quality of the Micro is absolutely amazing. Like, it really, really is. The screen quality is just so good, and you can play it anywhere. The size is so small. The whole thing was being able to put this in your pocket. So again, people on the shorts that I've done have gone, yeah, but it's so small, it's uncomfortable to play, and like, yeah, it cramps you up a little bit. You kind of got to get your hands around it and kind of like play like this. But at the end of the day, it's such a portable system. It is the most portable system Game Boy, Nintendo ever launched, really. And if you've got a big Game Boy Advance library like I do, well, then you can play this absolutely anywhere, which is amazing. But again, the features keep going. There's one that I haven't even told you about yet. So let me turn this off. I told you about this being a faceplate, right? And that's because it literally is a faceplate. You could buy separate ones like this. So you can actually get different colored ones. You could even customize your own if you bought like a clear one. These are aftermarket ones. These are not official Nintendo. These are just ones that I bought with this case. So I've got like a tiny little Venom case just here. Here in the UK, this brand's pretty common. I don't know about anywhere else in the world. But what this case came with is these little covers just here, but also it came with the tool, because you can't just pick it off. You actually need this little tool just here, and you can see it's got like two little tiny like raised bits, and that's because on the side of the Micro you've got two little holes just there. Now these are really, really, really fragile, and because this system is so old, you know, like it doesn't always work so well. So let me see if I can do it for you. So there you go. I've just used the tool and I've popped the side off, and there we go. So that is the Micro without the screen sort of protector on it. So that is the screen, and as you can see, my screen is absolutely pristine because it's got those face plates, and you can just pop on other face plates. So with this one, so you pop the corners in first and then just push down and it clicks into place, and that is your screen protector. So this one's a little bit, you know, a bit grubby, but I could just swap it out for a different one, and then it would be, you know, basically a brand new screen on the end, basically. So that is our tiny little Micro. Now, yes, okay, today there's better ways to play Game Boy Advance games, because if you haven't seen it, I've got a modded Game Boy Advance just here, and yeah, the mods in this are crazy, but this has a proper backlit screen on it as well. So this is probably the best way of playing Game Boy Advance games nowadays, but for an official system from Nintendo, this is an amazing system. So let me just recap again. The Game Boy Advance, the original, came out in 2001. Then in 2003, they launched the SP. And then in 2005, they launched this, which is the Micro, after the Nintendo DS came out. So I've got a Nintendo DS as well, and of course you could play Game Boy Advance games on the Nintendo DS. So you can play them that way, but they also launched this just being a dedicated Game Boy Advance machine, which I just found really weird that they kind of launched this after the launch of the Nintendo DS, and I think this is why it didn't do so well. Like, not very many people bothered with this because they all wanted Nintendo DSs instead, and well, you know, it was just a bit of a shame really. I always liked the look of these and I couldn't afford one when I was a kid. I had my DS and that was all I was gonna have. But then as I got older, I managed to find this one, which is why it's pink, because it was in really good condition and it was boxed and everything, and I just thought, you know what, I always wanted one of these, and I've had this now for probably like 10 years or more. But the actual Micro itself, well, it was only around for 3 years, I think, something like that. I think they discontinued it in like 2008 or maybe 2009, and it didn't sell that many copies. It just was what it was. But overall, as a system that's not modified, this is actually the best Game Boy Advance console you can get. It's got the best screen, bar that rare SP. It's got the best screen. It's got a really good, you know, sound system. Even though it's tiny, it's got good speakers on it. It's got a nice D-pad and face buttons. The shoulder buttons are nice and clicky. And the screen is adjustable brightness as well. I forgot to tell you that. So let me turn it on and I'll show you. Here is a screen that I can show you the adjustable brightness on. So let's go down and you can see how dim that gets just there. And then if I'm holding L up here, the shoulder button, and then I'm pressing the volume up, and there you go. I think that's full brightness. Let's go back down. So you can actually change the brightness of this as well. And the last thing, which I also forgot to mention, come on Andy, you should have been prepared, right? Is it's got a rechargeable inbuilt battery, which of course this one did not have. This was AAs, so you needed AA batteries in the back there. Yes, the SP did have a rechargeable battery, but this one overall, it had everything you could ever want from a Game Boy Advance system, and I absolutely love it. Now you know what the Game Boy Micro is, or what I like to call the Game Boy Advance Micro. So please let me know down in the comments, did you know about the Game Boy Micro? Do you have one yourself? Or did you never know about it? Are you one of the people that commented on our shorts going, what system is this? I've never heard about this. Let me know, because I'd love to know if you knew about this little system or not. But overall, I think it's a cracking little official Game Boy. Now next up, all you need to do is go down there and subscribe. And whilst you're subscribing, why don't you check out one of these videos just over here, because there's so many other videos here on this channel. Why don't you just, you know, check it out? And if you want to see all these shorts I keep telling you about, well then go and find them on the channel as well, and make sure you're subscribed, because there's shorts going up all over the place, so you can watch, you know, videos there too. See ya.